Hey there, Bill Barney here, and welcome back to All Things Possible TV for part 2 of the series Energy Healing Hacks for Emergencies. And so in part 1, we just went over some things that you can do in case of an emergency when you cannot get to the doctor, okay? It could be a natural disaster, flood, who knows, riots, the zombie apocalypse, anything where you can't get to the doctor. Maybe you're a long ways away from being able to just physically get there. Maybe you're out camping way out in the boondocks somewhere. And you can use these things for that. But also, you can use them in conjunction with your everyday life to help you. Now, by all means, if you have an emergency, hang up and dial 911 if you can get and you need immediate physical or medical attention. Do that. Before we get into today's hacks, I'd like to invite you to go to our website, www.allthingspossible.biz, and look through the things that we have available there for you. I ask you to join our community. We have a lot of gifts. We have a lot of information coming out, and we are here to serve and try and help people improve their lives and empower them in many ways. Also, join our YouTube channel. Go ahead and subscribe so that you don't miss our new editions as they come out, our weekly episodes. So today, let's get right into this short video. So the first energy healing hack that I have for you is so simple. I hope that you'll actually use it when you can. And I call it tachyon healing. Tachyon just means it's an energetic antenna, an energetic frequency. And the ancient Chinese have known for years that when you hold your body in a certain position, it acts as an amplifier. It pulls energy from the universe, but it also magnifies your thoughts, intentions, and words. If you don't know what this is, see if you've ever seen this. What do we do when we swear in a witness before they testify in court? What about when a president, even the United States or a corporation or any other countries, when they take office, they swear an oath? What do they normally do? That's right, they have their arm to the square. You see this in religious communities as well. They'll raise their arm in support. But when you hold your hand in this position, your arm, something about the arm like this, and it doesn't matter which arm you have, it acts as an antenna, and not only does it send out your intention in your words. And does that not make so much more sense now? I swear to tell the truth, the whole truth. What does the arm in the air have to do with anything? But imagine if that is magnifying your intentions and your thoughts and your words, okay? When I swear to uphold the office, okay? It makes all the sense in the world. But this is so simple. If you hold your arm in this position and put your hand where you want the healing energy to go. Generally, more energy seems to flow if it's going to another person. Although you could put it to yourself, and it will run energy. And you don't have to do anything else. When I say run energy, energy immediately begins to flow through the arm. I'm going to quit holding my arm up because I look weird. But when you do that, the energy starts to flow. You don't have to do anything else. Now, if you can hold feelings of love and gratitude, it's going to run stronger. Hold an intention of healing, wherever you have your hand placed, it's going to run even stronger. But seriously, you don't have to do a thing. You put that antenna up, it starts bringing in the positive energies. Now that may sound wacky, but believe me, I use it quite often and it works. The gentleman who taught this technique to me, Mel Fish, told me a story of when a lady that he shared this with, and this lady was with her family camping way out in the wilderness, and one of their sons, crashed his motorcycle, broke his arm. So they immediately, obviously he needs attention. They immediately packed up, got everything together, got into their vehicle, and it took them about 3 hours to get to the hospital. Well, they did all the first aid that they could. They stabilized his arm, did what they could in their power, and then got him to the hospital. It took 3 hours to get there. So what does this lady do? She can't do anything else, and so she rests her hand lightly on her son's arm, and just holds her other arm in this position while they traveled for those 3 hours. Now I assume there was a lot of powerful intention set by her for her son to be okay. They got him to the hospital. They immediately took him in for x-rays. The doctor come out and had some serious questions for this lady and her husband as to why they hadn't brought their son in sooner to get his arm taken care of. They says, we did. It just happened, it took us that long to get him here from where we was camping out in the desert. He says, no. And he showed him the x-rays, and the x-rays showed that the bones had already began to heal. Okay, this stuff is powerful. It's simple, but you can use it in those cases where you can't get to the doctor, or even if you've had surgery or whatever, and to promote and speed up healing, you can use this process. Tachyon healing is just the name I put to it. It makes the most sense to me because it describes that energetic antenna. Now the next one, you may have heard of this, but please don't discount it. Now if somebody's got a broken arm, you're not going to use this one to fix their broken arm in the moment, okay? If they're bleeding, if they need stitches, you're not going to use this to help that wound heal in the moment while you're trying to get to the doctor, okay? Do your other first aid, do what you can. But this is amazing for general health care, and the reason I'm sharing it with you here is it is simple. You don't have to take a lot of classes and learn it. You will need to go to the internet and do just a little bit of research and download some different charts. I'm going to show you some example here. What are we talking about? Foot reflexology. Have you ever heard that old song? Rub it in, rub it. I should not sing, okay? But there was a song that came out in the 70s, and as I was putting this together, that just came to my mind, the old country song of rub it in, rub it in. I believe he was talking about putting on suntan lotion, but it really fits with reflexology, and what you do is rub. So there are points, I'm going to show you a chart here. There are points throughout your body that reflect to other parts in your body, and when you massage those points, it promotes healing and stimulates healing in the other parts of the body. There are many different charts. This is a foot reflexology chart, okay? And I'm just going to hold that there a minute, try to hold it still. And you can see that there are different parts that correlate with different organs and parts of the body. When you rub those parts, it will hurt when you get to the right part. I'm just going to use my hand for example. Actually, there's hand reflexology charts. Okay, let me just get through the charts here first. There are many parts in the body, but if you was to download and have in store a couple of different foot reflexology charts, a couple of different hand charts, because some of them will show different things. They don't always agree with each other. So it's good to have some options. Also for the ear, that's something you can sit and massage yourself and your ear and your feet, your hands really easily. Your feet sometime, if you're not very flexible, can be a little tough massaging your own feet. But the different parts on the ear, you can also massage through the ear and affect those parts. So let's assume I'm doing a hand and I have problem in the intestines. So I look here on the intestine, on the chart there. Small intestines right here is right down in the bottom of the palm of the hand, right? Okay. So I start rubbing. If I'm not digesting my food well, I start rubbing in the palm of my hand. And all at once as I'm pushing with the tip of my thumb, I'll get a painful area. I mean, it will hurt. There'll be one spot that is more painful than the other. If you're working on somebody else, just say, tell me when it hurts more. And generally they'll accuse you of torturing them and pushing a lot harder when you're pushing the same, but it's a tender spot. Once you find that, just rub in. Just dig in and rub in and rub. In about 5 minutes, that pain will subside. And then you can go on to the next area. Well, what do you do if your charts don't agree or if you're not sure where to rub, if you don't know the exact point? If you have a general idea, just start rubbing around on the foot, the hand, the ear. When you find a tender spot, just rub it till it's not tender anymore. That's all there is to it. Generally within about 5 minutes or so, almost all the time, the tenderness will go away and it won't feel that pain. What's interesting that I've noticed in the feet is it almost feels like there's a little grain of sand when you hit the right spot. It's like not crunchy, but a little, like somebody implanted a little tiny BB or something in there. And I don't know what that is for sure, but as you rub, that goes away as the pain goes away too. And it's amazing to help you with pain, with headaches, to stimulate all kinds of healing in organs and glands in different parts throughout the body. Your spine, your legs, your knees, your whatever, there's all correlating parts in these reflexology charts. Now, there are pressure points throughout the body. If you really want to get into this, spend some time, download some different charts, put them in a folder, and keep them for those times when you may not be able to get to a doctor for a tummy ache or whatever, if that should ever happen. But use it in conjunction with your everyday life. I think you'll find that it will help, and it's easy. You don't have to take a lot of training and classes to learn this. Free stuff to download on the internet, get your charts, get several different ones, and use them and go to work with reflexology. I love reflexology because back in 1975, it was my first introduction into this whole strange and wonderful world of energy healing, and my mother introduced me to that, and so it was one of the first things that I learned, and I've used it a lot throughout my life since 1975. So that's been a few years. I was just a teenager at the time. Anyway, that's what we have for you today in part 2 of this series. Go ahead, leave us a comment below. Join our YouTube channel and go to our website www.allthingspossible.biz and join our community. We'll see you next time, and I hope that you can put this to good use and it will bless your lives. Bye-bye.